Oh my god. Oh shit. Nailing us for the last 2 weeks. And everybody's doing really weird, crazy shit everywhere I go. They're all in denial of it, but they are. Everyone's just off their fucking rockers. Unbelievable. Everywhere I go. I was at the laundromat and got to talking to someone in there. I saw what they were doing. Didn't really strike me as anything odd, just putting their clothes in the washing machine. And then after we got to talking a little while, someone else came in and started talking about the dryers with them. And then the girl says, "Oh, I thought this was a dryer. I just took my clothes out of that white machine and put them in this machine. So this is not a dryer?" I said, "No, that's a washing machine, just like the one that you took your clothes out of." And she wasn't joking around. And then, just weird shit. Everyone's like acting off, doing things that they wouldn't normally do. And I feel off. I mean, I feel off as well, you know. I feel like there's something fucking wrong. And gee, I wonder if it could possibly be all these fucking trails that they dump on our fucking heads. Because it's been, the reason why I'm saying that too is because it's been so heavy over the last few weeks. I keep mentioning that I haven't seen it this bad since Obama. When Obama was in, I think it was his first term, right away, like this, I started noticing the pickup on the trails. And they were passing it out. I mean, there was a lot of it going on. As a matter of fact, I mean, I don't like talking about the trail so much because it kind of defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to show you guys. It's hard enough to see what I'm trying to show you, the feline, canine, rodent, ape, human being. You know, to show you the true creator's work is hard enough whenever I'm dealing with, 7.8 billion people who are all sold on different religions, politics, and science and all this shit, right? So it's really difficult. So I usually don't like doing it because there's so many conspiracy rabbit holes with the trails. But when I notice big things and big differences in it, and I'm the only one paying attention, and that's the way it really is. There's maybe a couple thousand people on the earth that are even watching this, the trails, the geoengineering, the cloud seeding, that kind of shit. And they don't even have a legitimate gist, evidence. And I don't think the evidence is in the trails themselves. I think the evidence is the fact with the 7.8 billion, what I like to call zombie slaves, what we do about it. The fact that we pretend that it's not happening, and the way that we can ignore it by pretending that it's not there. You'll argue with family, relatives, even disown family and relatives over this subject. Even if you don't come right out and say disown them, when the person's not in the room, the family will all agree that that person is crazy. Right? They want us to see what they're calling reality. We got the Bible right here. We've got the Constitution over here on this other table. We know something about reality, right? So they don't want to fucking look. Nobody ever wants to look. So what I'm trying to show you happens to be at the cloud level. Like, that's why I throw in rocks, trees, water, moon, other things that I'm digitally collecting the electromagnetic nanocarbon from, so that there's no discrepancy about anybody coming out, because I always try to say they're set up already for their conspiracy bullshit. There's Project Bluebeam. Anybody that might be familiar with these things, there's Project Bluebeam, and there's a whole array of other conspiracies that are there to take you down the wrong roads. They're there to distract you from what I'm trying to show you. That's all they are. And no one will go look at what it is I'm trying to show you. And instead, they'll go along with Project Bluebeam shit and say, oh, that's the government putting on a sky show. Nah, I can show you the difference between one of their holographic freaking light shows that they want to put up in the sky and all that, compared to the true creator's work, or the false creator / creator's work, okay? Because that's the reason why I keep going in on this rock, and I keep going in on these trees like this. I'm going to do it right now since I'm here. That's why I keep doing this, because I don't want there to be any confusion about what we're dealing with here. I don't want anyone trying to lie to themselves, because it's going to be so easy to lie to yourselves. You've been doing it all your life, compared to going and looking at what it is I'm showing you. So you can see the same feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast in those trees that I'm pointing the camera at. And of course, if I wanted to walk over to the rock, I could do the same. I can probably do the rock from here, because you know what? The light's on the rock. I can do the rock probably from here. Okay, let me hold on a minute. Yeah, I can. So right now I'm digitally collecting the electromagnetic nanocarbon from that stone. Again, feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, over and over from the veil to the ground. Look in there. Use your camera as a viewing device. And I've been doing videos on this stone long enough to know that one of the ones I know you guys have been seeing, I hear. Okay, hold on, let me back up. I'll get him a little better for you, and I'll stop shaking. I'm gonna get his whole face in there. Hold on. All right. You'll get to know his mouth on the large one, because it's image within image from the veil to the ground, okay? So the one I'm showing you, his head is ending way up here. See his eyes better when I change some color? But the amazing part is you can count the fucking teeth. You can see his broken tooth, and you can see a broken tooth down here and a broken tooth up top. And as I move the camera from left to right, when you watch the other videos that I do of this rock, you'll see the same image. But again, it's image within image within image, so you're going to see others in there as well. But I just think it's really cool the way that you can actually get so much detail out of images, that you can count the teeth, count the broken teeth and all that, to prove it to yourself that what you're seeing is not your imagination, because others will look at the same image and they'll agree with you. Here he comes. Here he comes. He's getting better. Here he comes. Here he comes. Here he comes. I'm backing the camera up a little bit because I got it zoomed in. There he is. So now I'm going to tilt my camera just a little bit for the right angle and distance of perspective to give you that large image that goes with that mouth with the broken teeth. Now I'm going to move my camera around a little bit left and right to move the lights and shadows around the camera so he's looking this way. See him? See him with the broken teeth and everything? And of course, like I said, I always say image within image within image. So he's got hundreds of images within him. But try not to let those distract you. I try to give you the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, and then you'll be able to identify the image that I'm particularly talking about at any given time. All right, back to this. Yeah, it's just mind-blowing. It's mind-fucking-blowing that no one looks. No one pays attention. No one wants to see things for what they are. I mean, it's really fucking insane. And we're so out of time, so out of time. All right, so back to these trails. Under Obama, it was really bad. Now, these trails all started under Reagan, and I always call it the wrong name. But if I think of it, I'll mention it. I always called it Space Force, but it wasn't Space Force. It was, shit, what the hell was it? Trying to think what the fuck it was called. Air Defense? No, I'm getting closer though. Air Defense System. Air Defense System. I don't know. He got, like, at the time, $30 million used to be a lot of money, and he started it off with around, I think, $30 million that he put towards it. The plan that they put in effect, and they claim that it was going to be similar to what these guys are doing right now today, setting up, they're telling you they're satellites, but really they're drones. They're going to watch us like Mad Men all over, cameras everywhere. They're now admitting that they're going to tie into all of the home cameras in order to use plate readers, and plate readers are going to be on every vehicle, not just automobiles, but every vehicle, whether they're tow longs and everything. I mean, they're going to be watching us so fucking closely. And you got to think about that, all the camera systems in every store that we go into. Every store we go into, every business we go into, all the cameras that are everywhere, all going to be tied into the same system. Medical industry, carbon taxes, restrictions from travel, all that shit's all here now. And everyone's still pretending that it's not happening. It's been one fuck show after another as far as presidential people that are running the countries. And it's not just our country. I always hate to only talk about America, because it's every country. There's nowhere you're going to go to be safe. I've been looking into that for years too. They're all doing it. They're all turning tyrannical. They have been for a long time. We were just lying to ourselves and lying to each other about what was happening. But it's going to get to the point now that you can't lie to yourself anymore. We still will. They're still doing it. I'm shocked. I'm fucking shocked that they're still lying. I'm talking about everybody, all my friends, family, everyone I know, because they're still not looking. I'm showing it to you right now. I'm showing you the true creator's work. I mean, this is such a huge fucking deal. I mean, evidence of the true creator all around us, evidence of the false creator / creator all around us. But just because it doesn't go along with the bullshit you were brought up on, the lies and the scheming that they all did to us, but because it doesn't fit that narrative, you're going to pass on it and not even go look at what I'm showing you. You know, what does that tell you? And it's always been this way with the trails. You know, you couldn't call them chemtrails because every channel you could get your channel shut down. You have to call them condensation trails. You had to call them, they were ice crystals or condensation trails, shit like that. It was the only thing you can get away with calling them. And there were all these conspiracy channels, Alex Jones being one of them. They used to talk about him openly, and then he would get in trouble because he's just CIA like the rest of them. And they all work together on all sides. So, you know, he would come out and get everybody upset about it, talk about it, throw some lies in with the lies so that the true lies and the lies will all blend together, and they can have what do they call that? Honorable deniability or some shit, right? So they could deny that they're any part of it. Oh, that Alex Jones, he's fucking nuts. Yeah, he is, but a lot of the shit he says is right on the ball, and you gave him permission to say it. So, yeah, we all know it's all a lie. Well, we just don't, we don't want to admit that it's all a lie. So what if everybody's feeling shitty because of the trails, right? There's some conspiracy channels that will talk about the other ingredients other than the ones that I talk about. Look at this fucking shit. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. I get them good. Here we go. It's fucking unreal. So aluminum, strontium, barium, lithium oxide carbons are the carbons and that they claim that they use to move weather and to create different weather. But that can't be the only ingredients because they're only talking about moisture. They're not talking about bringing in temperature, which they can do. Temperature can be steered using the same electromagnetic nanocarbon system that we all ignore. They're using aspects of the system that the rest of us zombie slaves, 7.8 billion strong, all are happy to ignore and pretend that they don't exist. We all know deep down what the system really is. We don't need to pretend all the religious nonsense. It's unnecessary when reality is so much better. I mean, you can see the true creator, you can be one with it, you can understand it better than go into all the biblical stories that actually make no fucking sense. They have nothing to do with humanity. They have nothing to do with good. Even though people are known to sometimes do good things with them, when using religions to get messages across, you would think that they're all good messages, but they're really not. They're really so many bad ones. And I would say one of the worst ones is to ignore what is right in front of you, because unless you can bring it into what you call God's power or whatever, right? If you can bring in what I'm showing you to say, oh my God, it's God, he's back. Jesus is back. And that's why we're seeing all these images everywhere. In the trees, in the waters, in the moon, and he's back. That's why I like to bring in on the moon, because the moon has never changed. The moon doesn't change. Neither do the rocks or anything, but I don't have any pictures of, I guess we could, because you can go into the old caves. I'm going to do an experiment that I do every once in a while, too. I'll do it soon. Matter of fact, no, this ain't it. I have a stone this size that I broke in half. And when I broke the stone in half, what it shows you is, I'll do it right now. We're going to digitally collect the EMNC from this stone, okay, from the outside of it. Okay, feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, over and over from the veil to the ground. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's fucking heavy for my weak arm. Oh, boy. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this over here. And I'm going to go get some tools. And I'll do this since I'm here anyways. think it's in deep enough, yeah. Alright, so right now, with my eyes, I'm digitally collecting the EMNC from that stone. From the outside. How many millions of years that claiming these stones have been on the earth and all of that, alright? This is going to get into our timelines. We're going to be talking about our timelines later. You can feel free to take your own hand when you have this up on your computer and start cropping these images that are in this stone so you'll see them better. As you crop them, it's all about lights and shadows. Lights and shadows, you're going to pull the lights and shadows into the camera at different angles and distances of perspective. Look at this one. Look at this fucking thing. You'll see everything more clearly. Alright, this is fucking stone. It's just a rock. In all these places that I'm putting my fingers, I'm putting them on timelines. These are the timelines that come down from the stationary stars, come through the moon. The moon acts as an electromagnetic nanocarbon regulator when issuing souls to the bio realm. These timelines were already here by the true creator. The false creator / creator uses these timelines. Has no choice. Because these timelines, the true creator sees them all as one. The true creator would never use any of our words for that matter, but definitely would not be using them plurally as timelines. But we use them as timelines. Well, we could be if we actually acknowledge them and use them properly. But we could see all these timelines everywhere. So if we use the moon as our clock, as should have been all along, then that moon would work as an electromagnetic nanocarbon regulator. And it would also, for the bio realm, it would work as a clock for the bio realm. It does work that way. We just don't pay attention to it. We don't look. All right. So one of the things I'm trying to get through here, notice all the triangular builders building this rock. Since the rock has been here, wherever I move the rock, the builders are there building this rock. The same way I was trying to explain the other day about me. It was building, the builders are all around me, building me at all times. They're not just, when we're growing up as any biospecies is growing, whether it's a flower, a tree, a cat, a kangaroo, a human, any biospecies that's growing, even bugs, we always think of them as they're growing up. And I know it sounds confusing when you hear me talk, but once you know the system, you're going to see the system for what it is, I should say. Then you'll know all the things that I'm saying are true, and you will know them. There won't be a belief anymore, because everything's being pushed and pulled together in this whole entire system. Everything works that way. It's an electromagnetic nanocarbon system. The builders that build it are triangular. Same builders that you're seeing over here in the grass around the rock, the same builders that I was showing you the other day in my skin that are building me, but they don't build like we were told in science that biospecies build like this from the seed and open up like this. That's not the way they're being built. They're being built from all directions at the same time by these builders. So it's a lie to say that we're growing up. We're not really growing up. The builders are building us from all sides at the same time. So our language and our reference to actual facts have all been fucked, you know? All right, let me try to stay on topic here. So the reason why we're looking at the rock right now is because I'm about to crack it in half. And then we're going to look at the inside of the rock, right? Because then we'll know, again, all one, where's my finger? All one, because it's the same imagery. It's feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. It's still the triangular builders. It's not like circle builders build rocks and triangular builders build clouds and so on and so forth. One of the funny things that I thought when I first found this, I was looking for evidence of why is it only feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. If I go to the ocean, it only makes sense that at the ocean floor, at the beaches, at the ocean fronts, at the waves clapping up at the ocean, I know there's no way it's going to be feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. This is going to be incredible. I'm going to go look at those, and during my, it's funny the way it goes. And you have to do it on your own at first, because everyone else, if they know what you're doing, they'll tell you you're fucking nuts. So you have to be calm about that, and you have to just let them, okay, whatever, man. I mean, you try to deny what you see with your own eyes, and that's what we're doing. Anyway, so when I went there, it was still feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, to my surprise. So I was looking for the lobsters, I was looking for the crabs, I was looking for the sharks, the ocean creatures, jellyfish, all these different things. The same way that I'm telling you that when I look to the trees, there's no flowers in the trees, right? So if I point my camera at any trees, it's feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. That tells us a lot. There's no flowers in there. There's no trees in there. There's no bushes in there. There's no images of any of those things. There's no bushes of fruits and vegetables that also would be related to trees and bushes, plants. There's no plants in the trees in the imagery. It's always feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. This is provable. This is provable, visually provable. So the only thing that stops anybody from looking is their own deniability from what they grew up on, right? So you grew up being told, don't ever look at anything other than the God that we tell you to pray to. Don't ever, and if you do, here's your choices of the other gods you can pray to. But certainly you can't go seeing things and knowing them for yourself. No. You got to listen to everything we say. It's fucking bullshit. So when you point the camera at these different areas, you would think that they would be, related to those areas, but it just keeps coming back, feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. But that's a great thing for us because we have the evidence. So once we started thinking about rocks, not a biospecies, right? Rocks are not a biospecies, but yet the builder still builds these rocks, feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, over and over. You can see it. You can't deny it to me. I know I can fucking see it real good, so there's no way anybody's going to tell me you don't see it. You see it. All right? But think about that for a minute. So what that means is that if the rock is showing us feline, that's where I keep telling you that you have evidence of the true creator. The true creator already had this place down pat before we got here, and it had nothing to do with what we call today feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. The false creator/creator came along, stole the true creator's imagery, kind of stole the true creator's builders in a way, because he's using them at his will to build his bio realm. And it's the same thing that humans did when we started building species that are other than feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. And we did. And we called it evolution. We said that things had evolved back and forth. We made up lies about dinosaurs, unicorns, and dodo birds, and all this kind of shit, and claimed that there was evidence for them. So you got a retarded ostrich one time that was overgrown, or we had different species that we fucked up when we were creating them. How do you create them? Well, it's pretty fucking simple, actually. If you look at you just put the ingredients there, and the true creators builders will build them. So if you have the bio ingredients to build bio species, which we do, we've always known that we did, we give them fake fucking names that have nothing to do with reality. You can't have the exact reality. They'll give you little bits and pieces. They'll call it DNA. They'll call it genes and gene manipulation. They'll tell you it is. And cloning, right? Cloning, because we clone plants and we clone other things that we don't even think about. No one even thinks about it. And if they do, it's only because it mentioned to them once, and then it goes right to the back of the head, and no one thinks any more of it. Examples. Tomatoes were not tomatoes before they were tomatoes. We made them tomatoes. We made them red, juicy, big, plump with seeds in them. We did that as human beings, okay? So to clone things and create biospecies as human beings, you're going to say to yourself, oh, no, that's crazy. We don't control evolution. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's just that the zombie slaves, 7.8 billion, don't. Because the technology, every time someone does something, the technology is taken away from us. Generationally, You know, we don't have a very long memory span, so you only have to change a generation only every 10 years, and we're at the end now, man. This is fucking ridiculous. Bananas are not bananas until humans make them bananas, and they're these huge trees that grow these bananas that we now today eat, plantains and all these other different fruits and vegetables that never existed before humans got their hands on them. We call them those names, right? So it's the same thing that I'm trying to tell you about seeing the true creator, having an appreciation for the fact that this rock is going to show us feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. This rock is going to show us evidence of the builders all around it, building it as it's growing, all times, not only from the outside in, not only from left to right, back and forth, in and out, but all sides. So we know for sure that this is a product that shows evidence of the true creator. It's also, we can prove that it's not a product of the false creator/creator, nor humans, okay? Not until I start smashing it. That's when it becomes my creation, right? Because I'm going to break it in half. I'm going to process it. The same way we do with plants and other things. We take these rocks and we bust them down for their heavy metals and minerals and use them in millions of different ways, right? Same thing. We're doing the same thing with a rock. We're taking something that's from the true creator, and part of the true creator's work has nothing to do with the false creator/creator at all, the way that plants do, because the grass and the plants and the trees and all the shit that humans have biologically changed on our own without any permission from the false creator/creator. And then we can take that all the way back to biblical stories if you want, but, you know, Adam and Eve eating from the tree of life, right? Adam and Eve eating from that tree of life might have been an upside down world type thing that I keep telling you guys about duality. Everything's about duality and about division. So with that comes upside down world, and everything becomes upside down in the facts. So if you flip the facts of any situation, you will have reality. So the tree of life was not about the tree of life. It was about the tree of death. Because before we ate from the tree of life, we were electrical species. We were possibly silicone species if we were not just only electrical. We might have had silicone bodies at that time. And when we were told not to eat from the tree of life was actually the tree of death, because now we're able to die. Our bioshells are able to die. But there's something very special about that, right? Because in order to be able to die, you have to be able to live the bio life. To live forever as an electrical species, they're missing out on a lot of things that you and I as human beings, and same thing with all the other bio creatures. That's why I say don't have hate for the false creator/creator for stealing the true creator's work. That should not be. We should not be mad at the false creator/creator for stealing the true creator's work, because we would not be here as bio creatures. And we're here as bio creatures to enjoy the torture and the heartbreak and to work on our mirror neuron and develop and evolve a mirror neuron manipulator so that we can ignore that mirror neuron. Okay? You know, there's all kinds of feelings that come into play. I'm going to move back into the light with the rock. Where the fuck is it? There it is. All right. So you got to remember, we're able to feel love. We're able to feel hatred. We're able to feel egotistical, narcissistic, all these feelings that some of them we consider great attributes and some we don't. The truth is, they're all needed. Even me, you'll hear me come down on people who are psychopaths all the time, and you'll hear me ranking them out, because psychopaths don't have a mirror neuron to overtake. They don't need a mirror neuron manipulator. They never had to evolve one. They will take more from life than what they need at the drop of a hat without any remorse. where most of us, you and I, most of us out there, we have a mirror neuron. So in order to bypass that mirror neuron, we had to evolve a mirror neuron manipulator. And it takes a lot of lies, a lot of fucking lies you have to tell yourself in order to believe that we should be eating other creatures of the earth. All other creatures of the earth. Now, we may have to, now that we're in these bioshells, in order to do that. And there might be a reason for that mirror neuron in order for us to feel that empathy. But I tell you for sure, the energies that are all around us, these triangular builders, that's us when the bioshell hits the ground. We just go back to those. We go back to the system the same way I'm telling you. We become builders. We're energies. And the builders will start building immediately. They're always building. There's no time that they stop. They are always building until the end of time. When will the end of time be? I don't know. And does the end of time mean the end of the bio realm? Because time itself will still keep going on in the false creator / creators work, and also the true creators work, because neither one was ever sold on the bio shell. They were not sold on the bio shell. That's not what it was all about. We might have done that ourselves, being a synthetic species, and we might have been the ones to turn everything bio. Some examples of things like on that went bad at one time might be the fact that, feline are on the list, right? So feline and canine, both meat eaters. Feline and canine being the meat eaters, there might have been the cleanup crew for the earth, clean up the dead. There was no such thing as burying the dead. Why would you want to? You want the carbons to go back to the system. We started that burying our dead bullshit, and it was bullshit. It was unnecessary. It was all about the money, really, I think mostly, because when you see how expensive it is to fucking die, it's more expensive to die than it is to live. So who knows? It might have been just part of another scam, because it makes no sense to bury yourself. Just, go to ashes and go back to the system. It doesn't matter. Your soul is already left the body anyways, and the bioshell means nothing to us. Our energy goes, back to the system. So let's do this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attempt to show you guys that when I break this rock open, it's going to be the same imagery: feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, which proves a lot of shit, right? So we're separating the true creator's work from the false creator's work, and then we're separating human influence and human work from the false creator / creator's work. Okay, let me pause this so I don't bore everybody. I'm going to be lazy. I think I got one of them that I already did this to. I think this is one. Yeah, it is. Is it? No, I can't. No. Damn it. This is one that I broke before, but I don't have the other half. I don't know where the other half is. But I'm going to try an easier rock. This one was actually good too. I remember this one. I remembered this one. Yep. didn't want to break this one open because I liked it so much, but I'm gonna do it. And it's not even in the sun either. I love it. Can't let the clouds while I'm breaking this rock. Alright. There we go. Just like the rock. It's the same fucking thing. From the veil to the ground. I really like this one. Maybe I should try this one. I'm having a real hard time booking this fucking motherfucker. I'm gonna have to move on to another one. Suppose I could get a diamond blade and cut the fucker.